Welcome to the Valt Car Week podcast. We are your car culture cultivators. I'm Sean, and of course, today we are joined with
Vijay.
Robert, I am eating.
And Joe. Sorry that we were not here last week. We recorded last week, and then some of the neighbors graced us with their music and destroyed the podcast.
It definitely was not up to standard. But you know what? It just gives us another week to talk about freaking one of our favorite things, which is Car Week. So.
But before that,
I'm eating green beans.
Green beans and mac and cheese.
Green beans, mac and cheese.
But before that, how was everybody's week? So,
Sean,
how was your week?
Well, my week was pretty insignificant. As it was, I missed Car Week, so I was on family matters. You know, in keeping wifey happy. Yeah, I appreciate that. So we got a trip out to Peru where we saw a lot of insignificant cars. Probably the most exciting thing I saw was probably a Lada.
Just one or two?
I don't think I've ever seen one in person. So
but when you see quite a few of them in their element, they're not very good. So I'm sorry to disappoint all of those.
I don't know if anybody was like holding out, hoping for Ladas to.
They're not very good. So
A friend of mine had me go and take a look at a Lada back in college for him, which is the kind of Lada that's a Fiat 124, but it's just a Lada badge.
Yeah.
Is this the Maybach friend?
Yes, my friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He just had money to burn.
That's hilarious.
And so I looked at it. It was in San Jose. The only reason why I didn't buy it for him was because there was rust on the underneath. And it was the first carbureted car that I ever drove. It was also the first car with no power I ever drove. So I drove it around. I'm like, this thing has no power at all. Like, I can't believe it, how slow this thing is. But it's
Because
like
your other car at the time was probably like a 330D.
Yeah, 335D.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the M5 at the time. So totally polar opposites. And I was like genuinely shocked. So I had like a conversation with the guy for like a couple hours just about the car because he had another big collection.
Yeah. And
I was like, well, there's too much rust, so like we're not interested. And he's like, well, like all these have rust. And I'm like, yeah, but like there's holes in the floor. Like we're not gonna buy this for $7,000 or whatever, you know. And that was the same year too. Funny enough.
As the Maybach incident.
Yeah, same year.
Oh wow.
We saw it at Laguna Seca Park. And
The Lada?
Yeah. It was at Laguna Seca Parked, and he's like, get that guy's number, because there was a for sale sign. He's like, I'm going to buy it too. I'm going to buy the September. He was on a tear, and I'm like, okay. And so I went to San Jose and was like, no, we're not buying this car.
Nice.
Not even
Good for you for putting the foot down.
Yeah.
So that was, well, I have to say, if wifey's listening, that was definitely the positive. The other positive was, although I missed Car Week, it made me really appreciate, I couldn't really come home. I couldn't wait to come home and drive. So that's all I've been doing is just coming home and just driving, getting some of the stuff out of the garage.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
That hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
So that's been cool.
What's been your favorite drive?
Probably the E9. I forget how good that car is because actually the last time I drove it was probably Car Week about
Last
this time.
year?
Yeah,
That's a
last
long
year.
time.
It's been sitting. So,
How are your tires on all your cars?
good?
You don't have flat spots?
No,
Probably.
No. I mean,
I'm sure
I'll
you've got
move them
some.
back and forth in here, but I haven't really like driven it out of the warehouse. So
But yeah, they're not like sitting on the same exact spot.
no. So they move pretty often with shuffling. So that was a cool thing. Shouts out to VJ, as well as Pink Helmet, as well as Jeremy from Germs. Was it Germs DNA?
Yeah, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And Jerry, because I've been living off of their content, getting all my Car Week
from
fixes
Car Week.
in. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's been fun. It's
that's
still
good
going on, which is
There's
it's
still a
been,
lot
like,
of posts.
kind of a good amount of time since Car Week, but yeah. VJ, how was the week?
Yeah, I think I had a really good, well-planned car week. This was my fourth. The first one was in 2021, and then I did not plan much. I was just like going in there and just taking things as they came. But this year I got to plan everything out, optimize my schedule, and not burn myself out. So I was able to select the events that I wanted
nice.
specifically, and with the help of Valt Media, we were able to secure media passes as well for a lot of different new car launches. We were able to attend the headline events like Quail, Pebble, Rolex, everything like was super well planned out. And I also had Joe's beautiful green W124 wagon,
Nice.
Which you added
So
2,000 miles to,
yeah,
which is
Whoa.
crazy.
That's a great Car Week car.
yeah, I go way too much.
I was so
2,000 miles.
Maybe 1,000
I'm
plus. Yeah.
I was shocked. I mean, not in a bad way. I was like genuinely happy that you had no issues with it because I've been so skeptical. I mean, the car has 225,000 miles on it anyways. I didn't really care. I don't care if you put 100,000 miles on it. It doesn't matter to me. But
No, I'm just impressed.
I was super impressed, and I've been really skeptical to drive that car like long distances, like to LA, because I'm afraid of the cooling system. I talked with Derek at Car Week about how like my issues are normal, so I really shouldn't be worried, but like I still am worried because I'm neurotic.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy to hear that car did well.
Yeah, that car was like beautiful throughout the week. I hauled a lot of people, hauled the whole tent for the car, vaulted Car Week event, and like it was perfect for me. Like it didn't overheat, like you mentioned.
Great.
It just leaked a few drops of ATF every day. That's about it.
Yeah. It leaks transmission
It marked
fluid,
its parking spot every day.
Yeah, but
will
it's a
fix.
124.
Yeah, it'll be fixed. I got to drop the transmission to fix it, so I'm kind of just waiting for it to be so
Is that
leaky.
the original transmission?
It's been
had it
rebuilt.
rebuilt?
It's been rebuilt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
It was rebuilt at
That would have
190,000.
been outrageous if it was not ever rebuilt.
Interestingly enough, it was rebuilt 40,000 miles ago, and it's leaking still, or leaking now, which is really kind of weird.
Weird.
So that's
Maybe
kinda-
not a great rebuild.
I don't know. It shifts fine, but it leaks, so I got to fix that.
Weird. So
But
just a seal thing.
yeah, it's
Nice.
definitely a seal.
Yeah. After 4 years, I've been able to, figure out all the tips and tricks to optimize Car Week, like especially with the parking situation and, doing
how to get
events and
around is,
stuff.
I feel like,
It takes some experience,
really need to know
like
it.
finding your
Yeah.
spots and then navigating the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
If you
think
just use
it'll
Google
work out.
Maps, it's impossible to get around during that week.
Yeah.
So-
You have to know like the best entrance to 17-mile drive to avoid
Yeah.
things and like
Yeah, definitely.
good parking spots for Pebble and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
Nice.
This
What was
year
the best?
special.
What was the best part of your car week?
For me, it's definitely Rolex every year, apart from the Valt event, which is the best free event. But the Rolex thing, I love it because I see all the historic cars doing what they're meant to be doing, like racing hard on track instead of sitting pretty on a lawn. So that's what I love. I love race cars a bit more than road cars.
Yes.
So I loved seeing all the legends like the Mazda 787, like the NASCARs and like all the historic icons there racing, like throwing out flamethrowers and stuff while battling hard on track. So
Nice.
yeah, love that.
Very good.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time at the track usually, right?
I went for
Probably
4
your-
days. I went
Yeah,
for pre-reunion and the reunion.
That's
Yeah,
the way
next year I
do
got to
it.
do that because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And we had
Robert.
that Goodwood Hill Climb record holding car as well.
Yeah, the
On track,
McMurray.
I got to see it while standing on top of the corkscrew coming up the hill.
Oh, dope.
It's like cartoonishly fast. Like I
It's
couldn't
so silly.
pan my camera fast enough to keep up with it.
Yeah.
How about you, Rob? How was your car week?
Me?
Yeah.
It was good. It was the same kind of feeling as VJ. I felt like it was a lot more planned out, and like I had kind of the objectives for the week that I had to do, and I didn't have to do a whole lot other than that, which was really nice. A lot less stressful than
Yeah.
previous years. Like most of my week was just like logistics with cars that we had down there and getting them to the shows they need to get to, and
Yeah.
getting the people that need to see them, and then
Yeah.
getting to whatever meetings I had to go to. It was really
Yeah.
nice.
I remember
You showed-
last year. I don't think you enjoyed car week very much.
I hated it.
So
I was spent like
gone.
most of
Yeah.
Car Week last year meeting with Derek and Taz about this business, and then also trying to handle all the all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So it
and
was-
for the same, you showed a couple of cars. This year,
yeah,
right?
so that was definitely the highlight, was having 2 cars in the Quail, and winning an award with one of them.
Nice. Which two cars did you bring out?
2 old Ferraris, 2 coach-built Ferraris, one Vignale-bodied 250 Europa, and then a thing that's dubbed a Croisette, which is a 365 GT4 2+2 shooting brake from 1975.
That's giving that car a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean that's the first time it's been like seen in public.
Yeah.
In America. I know it was in America in the late 70s, but that's the first time it's been in America since this late 70s.
Where did that car come from, by the way?
Switzerland.
Okay,
So it was
okay.
built by it was designed by Michelotti and then built by Panther West Winds, which ended up becoming Panther Cars in the UK, and it was ordered new by a sheikh and then made its way into built by Ferry Felber and then ended up going
like
back into
Sultan of
Switzerland.
Brunei type of thing.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't the Sultan, but one of those guys that special orders cars.
Just order like 10 of the same.
Yeah.
I do have to say that car is very photogenic.
It looks so much
good
better in
pictures.
Right, in good photos
Yeah.
than in if you just walk around it in person. There's like some funky angles for sure.
Yeah.
Both the cars you showed were one-offs, right? Like just
The
individuals
Vignale
and-
was not the only one that was built. There was another 250 Europa Vignale that was built, and it was reportedly destroyed in period. And then there's other, like, there's lots of other Vignale bodied cars out there. Actually, we had another Vignale bodied car at the house that we were handling for a client that went to Pebble. That was cool too. It was cool to have that and the 250 and the Quasette in the garage together
Nice.
for one night.
Good
Um,
Costco cars, I guess.
What was that?
Good Costco cars.
Yeah.
A lot of space in the back.
Yeah, it was fun to drive them down there. I mean, yeah, we had just all these really cool things, unique kind of cars kicking around at the house. And, we did a photo shoot with a Mira and a Stratos that one of our clients owns. Derek's Mira and our client's Stratos. So it was fun to experience a Stratos because I'd never really been in one of those.
I tell you what, from what I saw, there seemed to be like an overabundance of supercars and hypercars. So it's
Yeah.
good to see any kind of classics.
So many.
Yeah.
I honestly think I saw more like, and I think maybe because I wasn't at the track, I just feel like outside of the shows themselves on the road, I saw way more modern super and
Yeah.
hypercars, and I saw like 3 Miras, which is wild because I feel like Miras and 250 Ferraris and like F40s are like what I see at Car Week
A lot,
usually.
yeah.
And I didn't see that many F40s. I saw a couple F50s.
Mhm.
And I saw like so many Bugattis and,
And
so
like-
many
half the
Koenigseggs.
Koenigseggs in the US were like
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
the place was
Yeah.
littered with Koenigseggs.
And I didn't see a
everywhere.
McLaren F1. I saw the Fino one. So maybe it was
That's true. That is true.
The race car
I
was
didn't-
at Laguna Seca.
the Fina.
Fina, yeah.
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 That's what's his fucking name? Yeah, the one that's always there, racing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That was
What was
nice.
the highlight of your car week?
Probably winning that award.
Nice.
I mean, we did not know how that car was going to be received, because it's like really polarizing. I mean, like a lot of people see it and they're like, "What is this shit box?" And then a lot of people see it and they're like, "This is the coolest fucking thing. Like, this is so
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, why does this even exist?" And like the people that get the history for it think it's really cool, but then like a lot of people just think it's the dumbest thing ever, which like I can understand the perspectives of both sides. And I didn't even really consider that it could win an award. Like I had the keys in my pocket because I didn't want to leave the keys in the car, and I had left the show. I was like at the car on the other side of Quail,
Yeah.
and I got a text from our Swiss partner in the car, and he was like, "I need the keys for the car. It won an award. It's going to drive on stage." And I was like, "God, no way!" Like I hadn't even considered it. I didn't even think about giving the keys to anybody. So I ran all the way back through Quail and got him the keys.
Nice. That could be a new, business plan. Is why don't we start making like shooting brakes out of
Everything.
Ferraris?
Yeah.
Yes, Ferraris in particular.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. So
What could go
anybody
wrong?
out there,
What could
exactly.
possibly go
If anybody wants their car
Sean comes
converted
up with
to
another
a shooting brake, we
rest
got
award
you.
company.
Yeah, we got another
Another rest award company.
Sean on God Productions.
That's like the 10th new company today.
We got
for
you.
rest
We got
of
you. Joe, how about you?
Yeah, just before that, an interesting tidbit that I heard after Car Week is a lot of people that were buying, that had ordered supercars, these hypercars, I guess, had I guess there was like an order form to where you could get the car delivered to Monterey, and that
wow.
could be your delivery point.
Wow.
So
For Car Week?
For Car Week. So
That's
I think
crazy.
a lot of these newer like Bugattis and Koenigseggs and all these things all check the box of, oh yeah, I'm going to be at Car Week anyway. Might as well get in my Bugatti and drive
So
around.
they all got
you
it
know?
delivered.
Yeah.
So obviously there's
Interesting.
probably not like hundreds of those people, but there's
Yeah.
probably like tens, So that's
makes
probably,
sense.
that could have added to the like overabundance of cars that like at lunch a Bugatti, Chiron would drive by and I would just be like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just another one.
There was nothing special about a hypercar or a supercar.
Well,
Yeah.
At
not
Car
at
Week.
Car Week. It
Yeah.
just doesn't
Not a Car
feel
Weekend,
interesting.
yeah.
Doesn't feel special.
Because
Yeah.
it's not history. Like
Which is
Car Week
crazy.
feels like it should be like a celebration of automotive history.
Yeah.
And obviously there's like the modern industry side of all of it that has to exist for it to keep going and to bring, money in and people. But yeah, it doesn't feel like, I feel like you go to Car Week, if you have an old car, you like owe it to Car Week to bring an old car
Yeah.
and drive it around, you know?
Yeah. If you have a one-off, I mean, totally bring that. But, it's-
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my Car Week was good. Last year, it was like a shit show, so much going on and stuff. So I made a point this year to try to like relax a
Enjoy
little bit
it.
more and enjoy the
Yeah,
things
you
and
seem
spend
so much more relaxed this year.
spend
too.
spend more time at places. Like I was going back and forth too much. Like a thing I didn't do last year was go to the track, and I really wanted to go to the track this year and still didn't go this year. So I'm gonna make it like a personal goal to go this year. But yeah, I mean, everything was good. I mean, most of the, I mean, we'll talk about it as we get into the event recaps and stuff, but like, it was a little bit different this year. Like it felt a little bit weird in some spots, but like overall, like the vibes were really good this year.
I'm
What
excited for this.
what spots were weird?
Well, we'll talk about it later, but the quail for sure was odd to me.
Yeah.
Huh.
We'll get into that. The pebble was totally different than usual,
Yeah.
which is
That's good. Yeah.
really
It's
good.
good.
And like small events, like we don't need to talk about this too much, but Legends on the Autobahn was so bad last year that I almost decided not to go this year and didn't register or pay for anything this year. But my dad did, so I went, and it was like one of my favorite events that I did this year. It was
glad
like
they-
really, really
I'm
nice.
glad they came
They
back.
really like did a 360, and then all these little tiny events, like the Pacific Grove, like street had 2 or 3 different events that were awesome and like so much fun, and kind of like reminded me of like of a more organized Solano. Like there's like more tents and shit,
Cool.
and that was super nice. Like a lot of good stuff,
Very
and the
cool.
auctions were fun as always. But
Are we talking about the Valt show as well today?
oh yeah,
Okay, cool.
oh yeah. So without further ado, let's get into our official Car Week recap without music this time. And so I want to get into the auction results first because I think they're interesting. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys today is
Yeah, we watched this one cross the line.
yeah. So this is a R107 560 SL, 122 miles, mind you, but $260,000, 260,400.
With fees.
Yeah, with fees, so probably like
It was
275.
230. I think it was no. It was it.
Oh,
I thought
this-
it crossed at 235. It's
I did too,
260
but
with
like,
fees.
do they include the fees in this?
This is
price?
with fees.
Oh, 260.
Yeah, they
so
always
still.
put the fee price.
Well, 260 is crazy. This car is perfect, literally. Like it's 122
122
miles.
That's
Yeah, this car is just one of those like find another things, and you really just need 2 guys that lusted after R107s and want like a museum grade Mercedes like this, Like
Yeah.
this is just like you would go to the Mercedes museum, and this is the quality of the car you'd find there.
Yeah, it needed.
Is it good to drive or?
Not for
Yeah.
$260,000.
It's not a $260,000
They
expense.
do,
Can't
they
even
do
drive
drive
it.
nice though, but like for me, like the top will graze my head, so I need to have convertible only.
I mean, this is like a less enjoyable experience than a 129,
R129? Yeah.
and a 129 is like an $11,000 car.
yeah, this
Good trim,
I would
so-
spend if I really wanted one, I would spend 20 grand on one to make it the best thing
they've
possible.
literally been building these since the 1880s, and
Yeah.
they made
They made like
billions of
they made
them.
them for like 20 years.
Yeah, they made so many.
So
many
this
models.
is atrocious, and it can never be driven again.
Yeah.
It can't be.
Yeah, this isn't like it's like when you see a concept car that sells that like it's the only one that exists, and
Like you could
there's
buy like
there's
a-
really not a comp for that car, which is why you just like you find
Yeah,
two like
yeah. I mean,
crazy
the guy
people.
bought it because it's the lowest mileage one probably in the entire
I'm
world.
sure both of those guys were talking to the auctioneers for weeks prior to this auction.
what do you do with that?
You
You can't
just
bring it in.
hold
You
it.
can't drive
They
it.
probably
Yeah.
both have collections.
can't-
They probably just park
You
it
just
in
hold.
their collection.
Yeah, you just park it and hold it.
I'm
It's
sure
part
both
it.
of them
Write-offs.
people bidding on that had like other 107s at home that they drive. At least one.
You can't brag about it because everybody's gonna be like, "Wait, you,
You
paid
bought
how much
that?
for that for what? What?"
Yeah.
It feels like 2021 bring a trailer.
Yeah. So if you're interested, these are a few other cars that you could have bought for around this price at the same auction at the same night. So for keeping it in the family of Mercedes,
Yeah,
you
I
could
think
get the
this-
God level,
Oh.
E500, but E60. So this is a 6-liter version of the E500, which is like
So
arguably
badass.
like the craziest one.
It's such-
2-tone
such a
interior.
Thug car.
Like this is like
That's a boss spec right there.
yeah, 238,000. So less
Boss
money than the one.
Yeah, I
than-
would take this.
yeah, take this in a heartbeat. So you can get one of these, an E60, extremely limited car, very desirable, super collectible.
That's a
I-
124, right?
Well, yeah, 124 500e, but it's just
Yeah.
been stroked and bored and all that stuff by AMG. You could get a very pretty 550 Maranello.
I don't think
That's
I would
sexy.
buy this.
Yeah, but it's still
Look
it's
at
a good
that
color.
spec.
I would rather
is-
have the Mercedes.
seat-
That spec is sick.
Yeah.
The spec is really good. That's why I
amazing.
picked
That
it.
spec is super sick.
Yeah, the beige is just a good color. I mean, these
actually
lights
good.
hide a lot of stuff, but It's just
very
pretty
tasteful.
looking.
Just wouldn't want a 550
Yeah,
Is it
as an
engine or?
experience.
Oh, okay.
but
You know, they've grown on me over the years.
I like
Like they're
this.
not that nice to drive.
yeah, I like the color. It's
Like
I
they're
mean,
really underwhelming.
and for about the
550s
same
and
price,
550s.
8,000 more, you're getting this instead of a 107. And then I'm biased. I love these cars, but I picked Chrysler 300 convertible,
For
106,000.
less than half the price.
Yeah, less than half the price.
They're so fun.
They're so cool looking. They're probably atrocious to drive. And a couple of these
But
come
you
to
don't
the,
buy these because of the driving.
yeah, a lot of these, like 4 or 5 of them. There's like a group of them that come to the to our events, and every time I see them, I get so excited.
Yeah.
The Chrysler 300s of this era are just so fun. Like they're look at it's
It's so
they-
happy.
Yeah.
It's just so happy.
Yeah, it's like so fun for $100,000. So you could buy 2 of these and,
and that's
another car.
You could get one of these for a lot less than 106.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
it's funny how people complain about like the safety lines when it comes to the Tesla, the Cybertruck. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
look at that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything on that car screams murder, death,
yeah,
kill.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll go into Gooding. I just picked this Miura because we talked about it before the
Yeah, did you look
podcast.
at it? Did you go to the preview
Yes.
and see this thing? It's so nice.
I love this car.
So
I love this.
demure.
I love everything about this car. I love the color. I love the interior. I love everything. It's awesome. It sold for 2.35.
So cute. See, so
Like
demure.
yeah, 2.31.
Yeah.
So right in the same estimate. But yeah, such a good color, and I'm happy it went for the money. It's like the best color I've seen on one of these, I think, ever. And then Jerry Seinfeld's 935
It was
race
a
car.
P400 though, right?
Yeah, it wasn't an SV.
You need an S.
5 million.
Yes, yeah.
Or an SV, I guess.
4.3
Yeah,
million.
it went for
Definitely
what,
not an SV.
4.3.
This was way too clean. I saw it at Gooding.
Yeah, well, I
it
mean,
didn't
it's-
look like a race car that was used. It just
Oh.
looked like a newly built car.
Yeah, I mean, it has been used in probably forever, right? It's a Seinfeld car,
Hmm.
and I feel like it probably went for, 4.3. Actually, it went for below.
Oh,
it was
935001 is the chassis number.
Oh, wow.
Just the
The
first
one,
935.
the first one, yeah. So it probably never.
Oh yeah, it says that. Wow.
Oh no, it did.
Wow.
It did race.
I mean, if it was the first one, it had to have raced.
Yeah.
Typical Seinfeld.
That's crazy.
These
Yeah.
were racing at Laguna Seca. The Ikuzawa car is related to this. And it was spitting flames.
Yeah, they're really wild things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 4.3, super cool. Not my thing, but still very cool. I would have never owned one. And then this caught both
Love
Robert
this
and I's
thing.
eyes. I love the way these look. I think I'm a sucker for bigger bodied, like kind of probably unfortunate to drive cars.
I bet this isn't. I bet this is nice to drive.
Yeah, maybe.
It looks
doesn't
sad.
look like it, but
Yeah,
like
so
It looks sad.
the front reminds me of somebody who's been on like a 2-week bender.
I fucking love these cars.
I can't
No,
sleep.
it looks like it got bullied by someone.
We should ask Taz and Derek if these are nice to drive because they both adore this thing.
if
Yeah.
I was going to buy a vintage Italian car, it would be a weird looking.
Gear.
Gear-bodied stuff is.
It would be a Ghia body. It would 100,000,000% be a Ghia body car. I
Or
love
Fagoni.
everything.
What about Fagoni?
Fagoni's for like $8 million.
Yeah, there you go.
Ali wants me to get
You-
one, but like,
you
okay,
make
well,
Ali
maybe
very
if
happy.
I work for 300 years, maybe I'll get one.
So was
Talbot.
Gia, was that like a designer? Or,
Yeah, it's like a coach.
It's a studio
builder.
like
Coach builder, okay,
studio
okay.
like Bertoni.
They also 300. The Ghia made a coach built 300. See the one we just looked at, but Ghia, beautiful, like so
wow.
awesome, and everything Ghia. I'm like, starting to realize literally everything that Ghia has created, I am like a huge sucker for. At least
those
what I've
Fiat
seen.
Supersonic V's.
Yeah,
that
I guess I
look
love,
so
I love
good.
them.
Yeah.
I love everything that they make. It's like it's like simple enough, but it's elegant.
I love
And
this.
it's always
space.
very
Pedals.
cute.
Look at
It's
those
always
pedals,
very,
man.
very
Yeah, I know,
cute.
right?
It's good for heel and toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good car, but that's the Gooding auction. Comment down below if you have any other things from the Gooding auction that you thought were interesting. And then for RM, I didn't really pick anything specific. I just wanted to go through.
Did you see those Zagato bodied 3 cars at Gooding?
Yeah.
They had a Zagato Gallardo, Zagato
No.
Ferrari. Like they were like
Well, there's
like-
one of them was based off of a Viper.
yeah
The shooting brake one is a
yeah
Viper.
yeah. They're like 3 Zagato
Gooding?
cars I had never seen before. Yeah,
You've seen the Viper one before, no?
I don't.
You haven't heard of that car? I had never heard of the Lamborghini
Yeah,
Zagato thing.
like
but
in those ones, like
Whoa.
the yellow one I'd never seen before.
Wait, did you mean the shooting brake Aston?
No,
Zagato?
like these 3 things that were together.
Yeah, no, I know this.
So this is a Gallardo.
Yeah.
It's a Lamborghini. It's probably a Gallardo.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool looking though. I do like it.
This was marketed like crazy before Car Week.
I didn't see it at all.
Yeah,
It
this
definitely
is
does look like Zagato.
Full on Zagato design.
But the unless I'm thinking of a different car, find the shooting brake. It's actually really cool.
This one?
No, that's the Aston.
There's nothing else in 2024. Just
Okay.
these three.
Go down.
This is all 2023.
Oh, maybe it wasn't.
Well, maybe it's
Maybe it
not.
was
Maybe
in
it's at RM. We'll find. But yeah,
Right, because
RM.
it wasn't the Aston, was it?
There was an Aston Zagato, yes.
But that was what you were thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm thinking of a different car.
Yeah, there's nothing. But anyway,
Right.
yeah. So the auctions were
That
good.
Aston was made in 4 different options. There's a coupe, shooting brake, cab, and I forget what the other one is. But there were 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean, so we went to RM for like a little bit. VJ was with us. These photos are hilarious, but
Like they're distracting from the car.
yeah, they're super distracting, right? Nothing went for like an insane amount of money,
It's like Audi rings,
but like, you know, the I don't know, I guess RM is just like I'm not really as into RM as I am the other ones because of the way they gatekeep everything. Which is why I didn't choose anything because I didn't really see anything that was interesting. And M1 sold for $420,000, which
The
is
blue
a
one?
super good price.
The blue one, right?
Yeah, the blue one.
That was a good.
It was a press car at some point, which is cool too. Probably one of like 6 in that color, which is awesome. But yeah, it went for like 420, 450, which it should go. They should be like $600,000-$700,000 cars. So
I'm talking about the
that's-
TZ3, the Alpha
Okay.
shooting brake. Sorry, keep going.
No worries. But yeah, so that was like a relative bargain in my book. We also saw a 275 GTB like Nart sell for like 5.5 or something like that.
Yeah, Nard Spiders are like much higher than the regular
Yeah.
275.
It was a cool car, but like it definitely was like really pricey.
It's a
No, no,
history
it's-
thing.
Yeah.
It's all about history.
But those are the auctions. Comment down below if there's anything else interesting that you guys saw down there, because I know a lot of our members were down there with us while we were watching specifically the RM. But that brings
F50 that sold for
right.
crazy.
5.05.
That's dumb.
I mean, they've been trending that way.
Yeah.
That's like the hottest era right now.
Yeah.
It's
They're
not
much
that-
rarer than F40s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's just dumb money. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Crazy
going to be
expensive.
more. They're going to go more.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to keep climbing for a while.
Yeah.
Everybody wants those things.
So this brings us into event recaps. I picked a few of them. There's a million different events that happen, but I picked 4 or 5 of them just to talk about. So we'll start with Quail. VJ, why don't you start us off with?
Was this your first quail or second quail?
First one.
Okay.
So how was your experience with it?
I mean, yeah, it was my first quail, and like my expectations were super sky high because it's almost impossible to get a ticket unless you know someone. So yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and you
really
always
good.
see the media after the fact, and you're like, wow, that was a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, expectations were high. Yeah, first thing I did was check out all the food that was there. So yeah, that was pretty impressive. They had like live music playing along with all the great food and stuff. So that was impressive. And I sat with my plate of food on a table, and right next to me, a couple of people came and sat down, and they asked me about what cars I have. I just told them about the shit boxes.
Just
and
point to everything that is in your view.
Then, yeah. Then
See
I
that?
asked them.
That
I own that
one,
company.
that one.
Then I asked them about
I'm actually Horacio Pagani.
Maturumats.
yeah.
So I asked them about their car, and then they asked me to guess which Ferrari has no windshield. And I said SP2 Monza, and that's what they have. So yeah, they were wearing like
Nice guess.
they were wearing AP and like MBNF watches. Like
Yeah.
they get
That's
Rolex
the
Daytonas
quail.
without a wait at their dealer.
You
So
should have
that kind of people.
like shouted them and said Ferrari California, but with no windshield. I would have spat on you
Because
or
I
something.
rolled it. Yeah. So that's the kind of people you just randomly bump into. So yeah, it was great to see all the, CEOs like Pagani, Ramatz, Koenigsegg, Dutthill, they were all there. So it's pretty cool opportunities. But I felt it was a little bit more crowded than I expected. So photo opportunities.
super crowded.
Yeah.
Photo
You gotta go for
opportunities
the
were
load-in.
not as good as I expected. So it's like Pebble Beach was like literally better than Quail for photo opportunities.
Yeah, if
because
you can
of-
get a early access.
Yeah.
If you have a car in, you get an early access pass,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that's when like the photographers are able to get.
Yeah, I personally loved all the World Rally Car sections they had with the Quattros and
37 and
Peugeots and everything. So that was really cool. And
Not gonna lie though, it was kind of like in the back.
Yeah.
Like
It was
if
in the
I wasn't
back, and
looking-
there weren't that many cars. Considering that there was like a spotlight for rally,
There
I was like,
5, right? 5 or
maybe
6.
8. You know,
And they were
but,
all
like,
really high impact cars.
No,
but,
they
like,
were, and like the MG, they had the MG rally
was
car.
sick.
I
That
was
was-
like,
that
they had
That was my
That was
favorite.
super dope.
That
each
was my
one of them
favorite.
was really cool.
Yeah.
But I was kind of hoping they would have, like, if you're gonna do a spotlight on rally, there should be like 20 cars. You know,
Right next
'Cause
to the
there's
water closet.
So many.
Pretty
cool
much all of them are owned by Dirtfish, who is based in the Pacific
Oh, really?
Northwest. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. I met.
Yeah, I
like,
mean the rally cars were across from the Quasette, which
Yeah.
is saying something. They should
Yeah.
not be over there. They should be like in closer to the race cars. It's weird that they separated them so much.
Yeah, that Audi Quattro is apparently the only like super clean remaining example of
Really?
the Quattro. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see that one. And yeah, overall, like I think it was slightly below expectations, but still pretty cool to done my first quail. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this is my 4th time at the Quail, and each time I'm like look forward to this is my favorite event to be at. But this time it just felt like really, really full of influencers, like almost so much so that like I
was
couldn't enjoy myself.
I was
really.
going to ask you if you brought an autograph book for the who's who's. Of
I did.
car
I
world.
got an autograph from a whole bunch of random thoughts that
Influencers, yeah.
we're just walking around. No,
What's your OnlyFans?
no. I mean, Pagani was making purses for people. Like it was just like a weird
That's
dynamic
really
there.
weird.
And I get it. It's like a really fancy trade show with great music and like interesting cars around it, right? That's what it is. But usually I love it. Like usually I love the event. And this year it just felt off to me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was the year that I took Allie and bought 2 tickets. And
Didn't
I
you
was
go-
like,
she didn't go last year.
no. And I was like, you're going to love this. Is going to be your favorite event. You're never going to want to go to Pebble Beach again. And she's like, honestly, like this wasn't even that interesting of an event. Like the food was fantastic.
Yeah.
The ambiance was good.
I
There
feel
were
like
too many
she's
people.
really into like the pre-war 50s 60s.
Well, she likes
designs,
because
right?
now she knows that there's a coach build with her name.
Yeah.
You know, and now she's like, ooh, that's
I just
awesome.
feel like I always hear her talk when she talks about cars that she thinks are like she thinks are interesting. It's always like those eras.
Yeah, that's true.
So that makes sense why she would really like Pebble. 'Cause it's,
I thought she would like the ambiance a lot, but this was just it was definitely more crowded than usual.
Yeah.
And
The air
it-
show thing was nice in the middle.
Which one?
The
air
air show
show.
flybys.
Yeah, that was
also
super
really
cool.
good.
I missed
Yeah.
that last year. I was driving out
Yeah.
of the show when that happened, and I'm like, I
It
should have
was
stayed.
literally
for that. So that
three
was fun.
times. They did it 3 times, the flyby.
Yeah, they did it. We said the whole time for that. That was cool.
Yeah.
But like all in all, like it definitely did feel kind of like trade show, like really high level trade showy. Like I was like
yeah, the big booths.
the big booths, which makes sense, and like they're millions of dollars and everything. But usually I completely ignore those.
Yeah, it was hard to ignore
But
between
this year was hard. Yeah.
that 550 Resto Mod thing, Pagani, I don't know whoever
So
else.
that blue resto mod.
Silver.
yeah, the what-
Super
Silver
Leggera.
one? Yeah.
no the blue.
Porsche 50th anniversary.
No, what's that car? What's the car that 355? The blue
355.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
sorry,
That was
yeah.
also there.
That was all over. It was
It's
cool.
just
though.
like you walk
That
in
was
and
cool.
it just was like, I don't know.
I'm into that. Like 355s aren't that valuable, to be honest. You know, and like
Engine
I think that
outputs.
I would probably just buy a stock one, but like that's a cool idea. Like I
Yeah.
don't really think it needs it, but like I get people just want money, so you know. But anyway, like the Quail was cool. It just felt a little bit too selly, which understandably makes sense. So
I love the Quail. I think the Quail is the best event in the world. It's my favorite event ever. We won an award.
Hey, who-
Did I mention the part where we won an award?
who got the Rolex from that?
What do you mean?
Don't you get a Rolex for winning an award?
No, we didn't get one.
Oh, that's
Maybe
annoying.
Pebble.
That's
I watched the ceremony and they said maybe it was just a specific
Maybe best
one.
in show or one.
But
of
yeah,
those
they were
ones.
getting like a specific like engraved like Rolex, and I'm like, that's so sick.
Maybe one of the guys got it and I didn't know about it.
I don't know, well, whatever.
I don't care. I think Quail's the best thing in the world. We've been asked to bring 2 cars next year, so I can only talk good about the Quail because I think it's the best event in the world.
Okay, so going into Pebble, for me, usually Pebble is kind of a letdown. Last year there were Fagoni bodied cars there, so like that was kind of fun to see because Ali was there and she got excited
like
about it.
huge row of Fagoni cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like the featured mark, so that was really cool. And then she wanted me to like look up like sale prices and like $3 to $7
You don't
million.
want to see this, dear.
Anyway, that was really cool. But this year they featured like kind of 90s race
Wedge cars. Wedge cars was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like and the wedge too.
Yeah. They were kind
every-
of spot on with that.
Yeah, they really killed. They killed it this year. Like it was like an event that like I had no expectations for. I thought it was going to be generally bad, and it was amazing. Like it was definitely by far my favorite event this year.
Yeah.
VJ, anything that stood out at Pebble?
Yeah, I think I agree with whatever you said. The ambience was good. The arrangements of cars was good. Like the 80s wedge cars, it was super comprehensive. All kinds of wedges, from like full-on concepts and meme cars, like the low-res car, the diamond-shaped, pyramid-shaped car, to 512S Modulo, Pininfarina, the
Probe.
HF0.
The no
Stratus.
longer with us probe.
Yeah.
Probe that is now Ash.
The one that burnt down, which that was the only coverage that it got. Before
I
that,
I did see some posts of it,
Yeah.
and when I saw the photo of it burning, I was like, oh yeah, I saw a post of that car.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I saw it, noticed that it had a cold air intake on it, cone filter, and I'm like, that's stupid. And then a day later, I'm like, oh, it's on fire. I'm like, probably was that. I guarantee it was that.
That's the reason. No insurance because it's modified.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like wedge cars, that was like not as interesting as some of them. Like there was some cars that like had like design features of like what a future like Scirocco could have been. Like that Audi was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Were
Special
interesting.
mention to the Casa Ferrari display this year. They just killed it with all the 60s Le Mans cars.
Very
all
impressive.
the best spec of their new cars.
That's where.
Yeah, that was where we had the 340.
Yeah,
that was where
the
the blue car that was at our house.
That was
where
a good display.
We
Yeah.
went to the drop off area for that, and we got there like alongside a CLK GTR. That was kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah, Pebble, the whole village, Concourse Village was really good overall. Like Mercedes stall and all the car unveilings. We got access to the M5 Touring launch and the Nilo Hypercar launch and a couple of other things. That was really cool.
Yeah, all in all, Pebble Beach Concourse as a whole really killed it this year. I don't know if last year was like not
Did
as
Allie
good.
go to that with you?
Huh? Yeah.
Did Allie go with you? Did
Yeah.
she enjoy it?
Yeah, she loved it. It was.
She liked it more than Quail.
Yeah, significantly more.
That's good.
It was a lot, and her friends went to that one too. So that was probably one of the reasons why.
Which one to bring her to next?
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm not going to be buying a
You're
ticket.
not going to be stressing about it.
But
all week.
so yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And
Did either of you guys? Did anybody go to Motorlux?
We all did.
Oh,
VJ, did you? You know,
Did you not
real
go
quick. I don't want to get off
auctions?
too topic.
No,
off
Motorlux
topic,
was
but I
great.
love Motorlux.
Motorlux was
I
fun.
like
You would have liked
people
it.
like.
That's where we saw the
it's
Mercedes
You know,
stuff.
it's kind of like
Okay.
a silly thing. Like people like to talk about Motorlux being a silly event, but I think it's the most fun of the week. I think because it's like an evening event. I just for some reason really enjoy evening events more. I feel like it's like less pretentious and like people are like just kind of having fun and it's silly and people are dancing and all that. But I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there's always really cool stuff at Motorlux. I just think it's a very well run event. I mean, the amount of things that are happening at that event, it's kind of astonishing, with the auctions going on and like the planes and helicopters and cars and
I didn't
staging.
know there were
And
options at Motorlux.
yeah, there's an off. The
the Broad Arrow is
Broad
where the
Arrow
Mercedes
happens
sold.
during Motorlux.
Oh, I didn't
It's
even
like,
know that.
And does Art manage staging for it or manage the event now? Or
Art is a big reason for it.
yeah, right. I think that's cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, which is funny because Anyway, it's a good event. I guess there was slightly less people, like maybe like 5% less people. Like if they like cap ticket prices and raise the
The
price a little
prices
bit.
went crazy.
The only problem,
They
the only
did.
problem that I have with Motorlux is the median age delta between straight men, and their dates.
Oh my god!
On average,
next level. Yeah,
on average,
next level.
like a pair of a couple, man and woman, the age difference is like
50.
40 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really uncomfortable. And that is not the case at the Quail or at
No,
Pebble.
it's very
just
Motorlux. Yeah, it's very Motorlux.
It's really
It's a
uncomfortable.
night event.
It's really uncomfortable. It's like
it's fun it's fun because I'm like it's fun to watch. Like, oh my god,
Just
I
like,
can't
why?
look at this.
Like,
you know?
what?
Yeah.
But it is a little bit odd that it's just Motorlux, which
Yeah.
you would think
I
it'd be
don't know
also
why.
Quail too, but it's just Motorlux.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's probably
I mean, I
it's
think
in
the
evening.
same people are at Quail. They're just not together.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's yeah. Anyway, yeah, Motorlux is cool.
Maybe because it's early and they're still in school.
Yeah, so that could be possible.
no.
But yeah, I mean, Motorlux is fun. But that brings us into the Valt show. It was humongous. I mean, like, really, there's nothing else to say about it. We started an hour early because last year, when I got there to help put the tent up, the lot was full already, and I felt unorganized. You know, it was like there 30 minutes early, and it was like a shit show already. So I made it an hour earlier, assuming that people would be like, I'm not driving there at 6, right? And Noah's wrong. I got there at 6. The lot was half full.
Nice.
The
Monterey
entire
people-
lot, all the way to the hotel, was completely full.
Yeah, so the main lot was full. The whole hotel lot was full, and it wasn't just from the hotel cars. Like, there were cars.
The street was like parallel parking on the
Yeah,
street.
it was a shit
completely
show.
Full.
It was a fun shit show, but like the cars that were at the show parked, like there was so little parking that they parked in the lanes of the
Yeah, like
hotel.
when you're trying to get like
Yeah.
the pass through between the
Yeah.
Chili's lot and the
Yeah.
hotel lot, like
everything
only like
was full.
30% of that lane was available.
It
Because
was all
full
full.
of
Like it
cars.
was
Crazy.
everything was completely full. There was no other parking to the point of Allie got there a little bit late, like at 8:15, and had to park in a different hotel lot across the street. And also, she noted that when she was walking back to her car, they had fenced it off because there were cars parking in that lot.
Wow.
So it was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and I think it went for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a few posts where where people were just saying like this is always their favorite show of Car Week.
Yeah.
Or their favorite event
That's
of
great.
Car Week.
It's
I mean,
free,
it's free
you know,
and it's
that's-
near good things, and
Yeah.
Yeah. It's casual.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
always
like,
fun to get those messages.
It's also not like downtown Carmel
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like next to the racetrack or like Carmel
Yeah.
Valley. It's not like one of those locations that you like just can't get to because of traffic.
You ever think we should ever go for like a sponsored Monterey like event? Because we're kind of off the radar, except for the people that know us.
I'm down to. I'm always down to do that. We gotta like talk to the right people. It's
Yeah.
hard to do that stuff. Monterey is very like everyone in.
Everyone's attention is all over the place.
Also,
Yeah.
everyone in the city and in all that stuff, like they, like, there's a lot of talking you have to do. But
Yeah.
we can talk about it later. It would be fun. But so yeah, the Vault show was good. If you haven't been to it, you got to go next year. It's a lot of fun. It's a good like meeting point for everyone too. And then lastly, the Rolex Motorsports reunion. I think the only one here that went was VJ, right? So
I mean, I think I've already covered what was there.
yeah.
It's pretty much the best value for money event, like $70 something. And you get to see things doing what they're meant to do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Heard they were
that's-
F1 racing too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just so wild.
Every single category of motorsports is
Yeah,
covered.
I'm so butthurt that I didn't get to go.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
this
you
was the
no
best
idea.
Rolex in the last 4 years I've been.
Yeah.
It's much more
wow,
organized. Yeah.
that's a
Unfortunate
praise.
for me.
Yeah.
I was hearing that one of my friends that is a detailer that was helping prep one of the cars that I was dealing with said that at there were less people at the track and more people at like the hoity-toity events
hypercar events. Yeah.
that like verified to me
seems
that-
like it happens every year. It gets
Yeah.
like smaller at
smaller.
the track and bigger everywhere
and
else.
to me that verified that like the people who are at Car Week, a majority of them at this point are like not really into like the history and the celebration of the
Influencer
event.
types.
Yeah.
Influencer
They're into the
types.
photos and the parties and did
Yeah,
you
I mean,
get
it's
to
just
sneak
like
in
the trend with
Ferrari?
travel.
Like-
Did you sneak into Mercedes? Like what
Yeah.
what party did you go to? Did you go to the Quail? Did you get into the fancy part of the Quail? Whatever, blah, blah, all that stuff. And it makes me wonder if like the track is where it's at now. Like it's like the place to be if you're a real car
guy,
enthusiast. It's
yeah.
like the place to be the whole time.
Yep.
And I'm definitely going to consider doing much more there next year.
Yeah.
And pro tip is like if you can't afford the $75 of the actual show, you can go to the pre-reunion for half that price and then see 80 to 90% of the cars.
And
Which is
there's
the
like
weekend before.
way fewer people there.
Yeah,
And
literally
their
no
cars
one.
are just sitting there. You can walk up to the cars,
yeah.
talk to the teams.
Just you and
like,
a BMW M1 Pro
The
car.
pre-reunion is probably the best day. I mean, I've said that
Yeah,
every
I've
year
always
now,
wanted to
but
do
like
that.
I did both days of pre-reunion.
it's by far, I think, the best day.
Yeah,
You get to see everything up close. Nobody's
Absolutely.
bothering you.
like $45 and then
parking is really
that's it.
easy.
Great value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we waiting for the next show to talk about exotics on Broadway?
Yeah, that's like.
Everybody
I think we should dedicate an entire show to Exotics on Broadway.
Or
What
Motorsports
about Monterey Motorsports Festival?
All I know about Exotics on Broadway is I was sitting and having lunch at Pebble Beach with a family who had never been to Car Week before, and they told me that there are two events that they felt like they needed to go to were Pebble Beach and Exotics on Broadway. And I'm like, interesting. Like, let's talk about Exotics. Like, I want to know how it was. And they were like, disaster.
Yeah.
Good.
I can't believe I went to it. What was the worst experience of my
I mean,
life?
it's not really a show, isn't it? Just like
It's a parade.
street takeover.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a takeover parade thing. with Koenigsegg's.
Yeah, it's a
And, like-
takeover where
and,
anyone other than Bugatti and Koenigseggs get arrested.
And like lettuce
It's
head
shot on sight.
18-year-old boys and with gimbals.
And
Yeah,
Alex
pretty
Choi
much.
throwing out hats.
Yeah, and Alex Troy shooting fireworks.
They invite Alex Choi for like 2 years in a row. It's like a criminal guy.
So and now they have all the cars down there. Aren't they all like sectioned off so you can't get close?
Yeah,
to
you can't touch the cars,
Yeah.
which is hilarious to me. I mean, like Car Week, is supposed, in my opinion, it's like a way for like the common person to see.
I mean, that was
like,
what it was started as.
unobtainable
This was the
Yeah.
point of Car Week when
Right.
it started, right?
Yeah.
and then Exotics on Broadway turns basically like traffic during Car Week into like this untouchable show.
Yeah.
Which is just dumb. You know, like they're like talking about how, oh my god, we had such a great experience, like so many people, and I'm like, this looks like it looks like someone could die. Like because of how many people were there, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was I didn't go. It was apparently a shit show. I didn't do the festival thing, but I haven't seen any media from it, so I don't really know how that went either.
They don't
but-
care.
Yeah, I didn't hear much of anything.
I know there were
positive
trackers.
about
I mean, none of
festival.
us are in the the
Exotics.
Broadway echo chamber,
Yeah.
so like our algorithms don't really feed us anything. From
Yeah,
these
no,
others
no,
on Broadway.
I'm totally teasing.
We're
Just
not
TikTok
consuming
kids.
that.
Yeah,
It's only TikTok kids just running after stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. They all go there.
It's really an anti-car event.
It's an
Kinda.
anti-car culture event.
Yeah.
It's like I
Bad
think I'm
name.
into cars.
It's like bad name. For
I'm a car guy. That's
Yeah.
I run a
title
TikTok.
for that
I
event.
run a TikTok.
Yeah,
like
I'm a
Guy
hype
Ardos.
beast that loves cars too.
And I have fake Yeezys
Yeah.
still.
So, scenario: if you could change one thing about Monterey Car Week, what would it be? That's it. VJ, what are you choosing? What would you change about Car Week?
Yeah, the main pet peeve that I have about Car Week is like the parking situation in the 70-mile drive Concord Village. So like for most people who have like general admission tickets, you have to park in a place which is like 10 miles away from the village and then take a shuttle bus and come to this place. So if you forgot something, you have to take the shuttle again like 10 miles away and come back. So like they have so much land there, they should just designate a huge outdoor ground or
I mean,
something.
there's 18 holes, right?
Yeah.
Make a parking lot. out
So
of a
much
hole.
land, it's just free real estate.
Yeah.
So you just
I mean, they're probably
Make
spending
sure.
like millions of dollars to rent like that.
I mean, the
fairway.
amount that part of the golf course gets destroyed, I can't even imagine like how destroyed that golf course gets by like the pebble or quail. Just the amount of leaking that gets on like all these cars.
I mean, the base activation at the Quail is $300,000, and it goes up to like $5 million.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it costs to rent and repair the surfaces.
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
Probably like tens of millions, like probably $12-15 million for the whole weekend.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the second thing I think Joe is going to explain in more detail.
Yeah, so I think that there should be more free events. Specifically, a free event on the same day as the Quail, because during the Quail, if you drive through the Quail, like to get into it,
Carmel
there's
Valley,
like hundreds of people standing right in front of the gate, waiting
Yeah.
for like a dumbass to like toss a band to someone, or to just like watch people watch cars leave and enter. And that is a huge reason why there's so much traffic around that area, because there's people parked on the sides of the road illegally in all these places just trying to get a band to get in for free.
Yeah.
So if some entity could host an event just down the road in the
Yeah, and when
barnyard
you
area.
leave the quail, you just go there.
Yeah, but just make it so that like you get to the Quail when load-in happens. It's fun. And then you go to the Cars and Coffee from 11 to 1, and then you go home. You
Yeah.
don't have to go back to the Quail because you've gotten your take. At Car Week, a Cars and Coffee will bring everything from an F1 to like anything. Anything comes. Everything.
Duesenberg.
They all come. So like like a Cars and Coffee at Car Week is the Quail. It's the
Yeah.
same cars, just
Yeah.
less food.
And
you know.
less industry.
So
presence.
I think there should be more free events. Personally, maybe
So,
like one or two really big ones.
You don't have to pay $140 for Uber.
Yeah,
for
100. Yeah, I
5
paid 100. Yeah, it was 160 actually. That was
Plus
unfortunate.
tips.
Or also $1,500 for the ticket too.
Yeah, I mean,
Plus
it's too
tips.
bad there's not like, and I'm not saying I like this event, but like SEMA as an event is like really accessible. It's not that expensive to attend as an attendee. And if you really like want to see what's happening in the automotive industry, you get to see like really cool new stuff at SEMA and like interesting builds, and all that is done, I think, cheaply for consumers because it's like a big industry trade show, and there's a lot of business done at the event outside of like the consumer aspect of it. So I wish there was an event like what Joe's talking about, where all of the big activations that are like kind of across all the big shows at Car Week, so like Pebble and Quail and Rolex, and like there's companies that kind of have their impact distributed across all those events. I wish that there was an event like what Joe is describing, where there was also industry presence.
Yeah.
You know, because if there isn't that, like the people that are just going to Car Week to enjoy Car Week that can't afford like a $1,400 ticket are just like not getting to see any of these cool industry things. They're not seeing any of these interesting resto mods. They're not really seeing like activation spaces with these brands. And I get that there's like an element to gatekeep that, which drives up the value of the brand. Like if you're only able to interact with it, if you are willing to spend that much money, it makes the brand more unobtainable, which makes the brand more valuable. Yeah. But I think that like Joe's saying, like if it were aligned with like the real ethos of Car Week, those manufacturers and those designers and everything would make their stuff more accessible by like putting it on display for people that want to just come see it casually.
I think the issue is just like with SEMA. I mean, SEMA's at the convention center, which is huge, and there's no space.
Yeah, that's why like it just,
unless you did something maybe at that little marina.
Yeah, it would have to be like that was what I was saying. Like why our area is like kind of nice because it's like not stuck in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
There just has to be a spot that isn't so expensive to occupy as an event.
Yeah.
But my thing for my scenario for this, I just had that thought while you were saying that, Joe. Mm-hmm. My scenario for this would be you can only post to social media if you are a journalist writing for a publication.
There's no signal there.
Or you will be like banned from future Car Weeks if you post anything or talk about anything or do anything like that, unless you are a industry journalist or like a business there doing business.
Yeah.
And then consumers, like they have to just go to enjoy it. They're not allowed to like
that'd be great,
use it. And then influencers can't do influencing things, you know? They have to go like just enjoy it as humans. It would completely get rid of the issue with all these events getting like taken over by photo ops.
Fair enough.
Mine certainly has to go into just the traffic controls over the year. I mean, there's just so much traffic.
It's gotten worse.
Possibly doesn't need to be there. Like, there's some people that have cars that are just driving just to get to places, and I think they'd be much better off with some type of like shuttle service. You know, just to go.
Yeah, if they close down the roads and then just had shuttles
event to event to event to event, especially if you have a car that's, you know, well, you're not looking at enter a car into a show or show your car off. It would just make a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, who hates Car Week more is probably the locals.
Yeah.
Is every
I
time
think
you
the
talk
locals
to a
who are
local,
not in the cars probably leave.
My cousins live there and hate it so much.
But that would certainly be better.
It would also probably be safer.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people are like driving really recklessly and you know.
I love the idea of the free events too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just not like a million of them, but
one.
like specifically one during the Quail.
Yeah.
Because then it gives it really close to it. The Barnyard is like about a 10-minute drive closer to the coast on the same road. So if you just like pull into that lot, there's like a Safeway and there's Starbucks and there's like a really big lot that's entertaining. There's a lot of food options and stuff. Yeah. They just open up, have a Cars and Coffee there, hosted by the property management firm or something. Like, that would be fantastic. Because then all those dumbasses who are just waiting in the middle of the road over there for like some random Lamborghini to drive by or something, like for hours, can just go somewhere else where the Lamborghini is going to pull up to anyway. Because it's Car Week and there's like 4 of them or 5 of them.
What's crazy is with Car Week, like with the cost, there's nothing really in between. Like everything is so freaking crazy overpriced. Mm-hmm. You know, all the shows,
housing,
the Quail,
housing,
Motorlux. You know, the Motorlux tickets went from what $450,
like
$500 last year to $650.
Oh, yeah. $650, yeah.
$650 for the base and $750 or something like that for the VIP thing?
That's crazy.
Early entrance.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. How much was the Quail this year?
$600 to $1,700.
$1,295.
Yeah. My
$1,295 if you get the like initial offer.
Lucky draw.
But if you buy like
I had a friend that had to buy one from Quail for $1,700,
In Pebble Beach,
Probably just 600 something.
$595.
$595. I mean, it's that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, for the average like car enthusiast, if you don't like work in the industry and have a reason to, or like a way to recoup your costs of going there, or
Yeah.
like you just like are so diehard about it that you're willing to do that and you save up for that, it just makes no sense. Like
Shitty
paying
hotels
for a lot of
are,
people,
what, $700 a
paying
night?
$25 for a car event is like, well, I don't. Should I do that or not? You know,
Yeah.
paying anything just to go look at cars for most people
And
is
that's
like
just getting at what an auction is maybe a auction preview.
Auction
Like
previews.
Auction previews?
25,
No, 50.
$50.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's expensive.
is
We got
insane.
in for 25. One of the times, 25 each, because we were like halfway through one of the auctions, and they're like, "We'll do it for half off," and I'm like, "Oh, they're so appreciative." Like, yeah, even the auction previews are cost money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Any other closing remarks before we end the Car Week recap podcast? That's
One
a week
day
early.
we're gonna bring car weekend. We're gonna bring our own car weekend here to the East Bay.
Everything will
One
be free.
day. Yeah, and everything will be free. It'll be funded by Salesforce Tower.
or OTS.
Yeah. No, it won't. Cannot afford that.
OTS IPO will be a car week.
Oh yeah, Bay Area Car Week will just be like a cars and coffee at our warehouse.
Take over.
Take over.
Let's have it on the Bay Bridge.
An alpha take over.
Shut down Bay Bridge for a week.
Oil everywhere.
It's oil. Broken cars.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of 60s and 70s Ferraris leaking oil on the Bay Bridge for a week.
Yeah. That sounds right. All right. Well, I think we'll close it then. We'll see you on next week's episode for another normal one, where I think we'll all be here, so that'll be fun.
Yes.
All right. See you later.
Good night.